That is exactly the same courage we are seeing today in the streets of Iran. That is courage we need to stand with and honor. And I absolutely do. Now, let me be clear.
You are defending Ukraine. You are with them, but Iran, you are not supporting Iran and people in Iran, but you are supporting the Islamic brutal regime in Iran.
Keep them out! 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 Keep them out!
I agree that we need action now. I agree we must be very, very clear that IRGC money, IRGC commanders, and IRGC henchmen have no place in Canada. We must be very clear about that, and our government is, and our government knows we need to do more, and we will. Now I want to conclude, I want to conclude by saying something that is really important, which is I'm glad we're having this conversation here today. I'm glad that Canadians, Iranian Canadians and their allies are here with us and are able to speak directly to us, their MPs, their government. That is so important. That's something that as Canadians we should be proud of, and very, very glad this is the country we live in. But I do want to conclude by reminding us all that the true courage right now is in Iran. And I want us to remember, and I want to assure you, I do, that I know freedom is not inevitable. It depends on people being willing to fight for it. It is because of the remarkable women of Iran, the remarkable people of Iran, who are showing their willingness to fight for freedom, that I know in my heart, I know how hard it is, but I am profoundly confident that freedom in the end will triumph. And I think I'd like to conclude by saying, and please forgive my pronunciation, Zun Zindagi Azadi. Can we say it together? Thank you very much. Thank you for taking the time to be here today. It really matters.
Thank you, Ms. Freeland, for the powerful remarks. We heard a statement in the October 1st rally in Toronto that the Ukrainians' battles is the one that the Iranians are fighting, and the Iranians' battle is also the Ukrainians. So together, hopefully, we will beat this evil that is wreaking havoc in the entire world. For our next speaker, we have the honor of having Honorable Omar Agabra, who's joined us today. He's the Minister of Transport and MP for Mississauga Centre. Please join me in welcoming Honorable Al Gabra.
Thank you very much. I wish I could say I was glad to be with you today. Honestly, I don't want to be here today. I know none of you wanted to be here today because we all did not want this crime to happen. Shooting down a civilian airline, killing 176 innocent civilians is a crime that needs to be held accountable. But we are here. We are here. And I want to take a moment to thank the Families Association with its leadership for their incredible work over the last 2 years. The burden that they've been carrying on behalf of the families, on behalf of people in Iran, on behalf of Canadians who care about what happened, who are angered and frustrated by what had happened, who are demanding justice, truth, and accountability. They have constantly been carrying and pushing governments and other stakeholders to ensure that we continue to honor those who were killed on that day, to continue to ensure that we pursue truth, justice, and accountability. And I want to say to you that our government, our Prime Minister, remain solidly committed to achieving justice, truth, and accountability for all of you, for all of Canada who demands this. And we will never rest until we achieve those objectives that we all share. I know this process has been painful. I know this process has been long. I know this process has been frustrating. I know, and I share that frustration. Our Prime Minister shares that frustration. All of our colleagues share that frustration. But we need to remain focused and determined. We will not rest until we achieve those objectives. And from day one, we set out first and foremost to support the families, to address all of the demands of the families. Then we launched the Ralph Goodale report to investigate and to pose questions that continue not to have answered. Then we did the forensic report because Iran continues to this day to refuse to provide answer. Iran and the Iranian government is failing to answer the justifiable demands of all of you, of all of Canada, of the entire world. And I assure you, we are going to pursue all mechanisms, political, diplomatic, and legal. Whether it is ICAO, whether it's the International Court of Justice, we will not rest. The families deserve answers. We must honor those who were killed. Canada has been mobilizing the world. We brought together the world, the International Coordination Group. We are pushing changes at ICAO. We are demanding accountability. And I promise you, we owe you this. We owe all of Canada this. We owe all human lives around the world this. They expect us to ensure that civil aviation is safe, that those who violate international law, that those who violate human dignity are held accountable. So I want to thank you for your advocacy, for your persistence, for your determination, and overall for your humanity. We salute those brave souls in Iran who are standing up for women's rights, for human rights, and you stand with them. Thank you for all your work. We will do this together. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Action! We need action! We need action! We need action!
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Algabra, for your speech today. Next, in our order of speaking, I have the honor of introducing Mr. Garnet Dennis, the MP from the Conservative Party of Canada. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Dennis.
Well, thank you very much. I had the honor of 4 years ago moving the motion to list the IRGC as a terrorist organization. 4 years ago, before the downing of flight PS752, before the murder of Masa Amini. It was obvious then, it was obvious now. Let's get it done. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor of introducing to you a freedom fighter here in Canada and around the world, someone who will stand with the Iranian people, who will stand up for justice, and who will continue the fight every day to list the IRGC as a terrorist entity. Please welcome the leader of my party, Pierre Palmer.
Thank you very much. You don't need any more words. You've had 1,000 days of words. We need action. We need action. Our government has given us lots of words. But 1,000 days after over 50 Canadians were murdered by the terrorist arm of a foreign regime, there has been no action. The organization, the terrorist body that carried out this attack, the IRGC, is still legal here in Canada. Because the government, led by Justin Trudeau, has refused to ban it. They promised back in the year 2018, when they voted for Mr. Genes's motion, that they would criminalize the IRGC. And here we are, 1,000 days after this gruesome murder of Canadian citizens. It is still not banned. Let me tell you, the Conservative Party moved a motion yesterday in the House of Commons to ban this terrorist organization, and Conservatives will not rest until this organization is banned and its organizers are prosecuted. We will support the seizure of the regime's assets in Canada, the disposal of those assets, and we will use the proceeds to compensate the families of the victims of Flight PS752. We will seek the prosecution of the regime at international criminal courts. We will also daily stand up in the United Nations to hold this regime accountable. The time is over for words. The time has come for deeds. And I want you to know that you have friends in the Conservative Party who will fight tooth and nail to take those actions, to restore justice, to ban the terrorists, and to stand up for freedom, freedom here in Canada, but freedom for the Iranian people who so desperately deserve to have their lives back. Thank you very much. Continue to fight.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Polyev. We are fortunate to have the support of all parties of the House of Commons, and we believe that this cause is a bipartisan, non-partisan cause that should be advanced by everybody in the government of Canada. We are also happy. I just want to acknowledge the special person that we have in our crowd today. The Honorable Champagne. He has been our champion since the beginning of our fight. We're happy to see you here today. I also want to thank everybody who came here from Montreal, from Toronto, from Ottawa, everywhere. This is a massive crowd. We really appreciate it. It's important to have our cause in our heart. This cause is the cause of the people of Iran. We are all fighting together for justice for Iran. And before we close the program today, I want to invite everybody to observe a moment of silence for the 1000th day since our loved ones were taken away from us in the most inhumane, unjust way. Thank you. Thank you all. I want to thank everybody who came here in attendance today. And before we leave, I want to invite everybody, all the MPs and other officials who are in attendance of the program today to come in front for a photo and show a solidarity for the people of Iran. Thank you.
Thank you, MPs. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I also wanted to say